I took a bike ride yesterday, saw a funny world at play. Saw new bike lanes on a street, saw people and slowed down to greet. Green boxes next to blue and gray, posters for a car-free day. Saw families without a trace of fear and joy in public space. Pedal power in full sway, I saw things in a different way. Le monde à bicyclette. Le monde à bicyclette. Took a Gomberg, never shied away from what had not been tried. With faithful friends there at his side, showed us we could turn the tide on Adam's mind. And Kyoto would not go the way of the dodo, burning passport declarations, buried car commemorations. Robin Hood through town he'd glide, inviting us along to ride. Le monde à bicyclette. Le monde à bicyclette. When the king of furniture decreed his actions immature, took aim at his crown and threw the people's gauntlet down, which some folks call buffoonery. How accurate they proved to be, for like the clowns of Yapery, his stock in trade was honesty, sparking fires mirthfully to melt the ice of apathy. Le monde à bicyclette. Le monde à bicyclette. Sometimes statistics only bore 'em, so he perforated dull decorum, energized the public forum. What else can one do but adore him? Ask yourself and make a list, and for a spell unclench your fist, for laughter is an activist. Look up now, see through the mist. Conviction like a lightning flash, dispensed with humor and panache. Le monde à bicyclette. Le monde à bicyclette. I only saw him a couple times in person, where the tower chimes, raging at the climate crimes, with horns a-honking, words in rhyme, or juggling by a tent for peace. In frozen winter without cease, we wish for him eternal laughter, peace of mind in the hereafter, inspiring him as he does we, and may we all forever see le monde à bicyclette. Le monde à bicyclette. Le monde à bicyclette.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Environmental Coffee House. And I'm really thrilled tonight because we have a very nice show. And I want to thank Kelly Green for being here. And this is just lovely tonight. It's movie night. Hope you got your popcorn. Everybody's comfortable. And we're going to be watching clips. And this is history. We are watching history. A Canadian activist took her. And Kelly, it was your friend, and you were an activist. You are an activist. So I'm going to hand the show over to Kelly, and I want everybody to pay really close attention to what's happening tonight. And it's kind of a feel-good night because, well, those were the days where there was still a little hope, you know. So Kelly, take it away, and welcome to Environmental Coffee House. Thrilled to have you.
Well, thank you, Sandy. It's an honor, absolute thrill to be here with you. Longtime fan, first time guest. So this
Yeah.
is really great. I'm usually hanging out in the chat, trying to insert snide comments or otherwise
Oh,
get
no.
attention.
No, you're not.
So this is really fantastic. And yes, Tucker Gomberg, activist extraordinaire Canadian. I met Tucker way back in 1990. I believe I was a young man working for Greenpeace here in Edmonton, Alberta. And Tucker came to our office to give us a talk and explain how he, or maybe it wasn't he, but there was some bicycle doctors, they called them bicycle doctors, and they had gone out in the middle of the night and painted bicycle lanes out in front on the street, out in front of the Greenpeace office, close to the University of Alberta. That was very exciting, and we'd formed a friendship over the years. He became city councillor in the city of
That's
Edmonton
great.
for one term, and ran for mayor and lost, and then went on to have a whole bunch of different adventures. Some of which that you saw in that lovely tribute song,
Yeah.
which you may have caught at the beginning or at the end. I'm not sure where the text came up that showed Tooker has passed. He's no longer with us since 2004.
Yeah.
He
Very
was a he
young.
was a bright candle. He burned fast, and we're sad about that. But I'm very excited to be able to now go through this archival footage of his, over 600 tapes that has been put into my lap. I'm just glancing over at the table. There's 150
Wow.
loose tapes over there. I got a couple of hundred behind me that are digitized and archived and partially logged right now, and another 100 in a box over here. So there's a ton of tapes, and what we're going to see tonight, this is a sampling of a sampling. So as I've been going through these clips, I'm finding these interesting things. I'm like, wow, that'd be really neat to pull out. And along the way, I've been putting clips together for my YouTube channel
Hmm.
for friends and for family, people, interests, just trying to get a flavor of what was involved with Tooker's life and his activism, the different things that he was involved in. And then through this process of discovery, finding, well, what of these events, what really resonates with people, and what's something that we can then put together as a documentary at
Hmm.
the end that showcases his life. And I think the direction that we're going to go is it's basically a love story between Tooker and his wife
Oh,
Angela. She showed up in that music video that you saw several times. She was a woman crying at the end. She was drawing the chalk bicycle on the road, and
love story.
um, she's still an activist. She's still um,
Fantastic.
very involved, and she's not actually far from you, Sandy. She's only across that giant lake in the city of Toronto.
Okay, she's across that giant lake. Not the biggest one. Not the biggest one. Lake Erie is actually the smallest one.
Oh, I thought you were on Lake Erie. I thought you were on
Yeah.
Lake Ontario.
No, Lake Ontario is over yonder. I'm in Western.
Okay,
But
so you
that's
get
okay.
so New York has two Great Lakes attached to it.
Oh yes,
Okay.
Ontario. Yep. If I well, I used to go up to Ontario to Fort Niagara, Niagara Falls, but that's where it hits. Ontario hits Lake Erie. And so, yeah, we have the best of everything. But Canada, the Peace Bridge is like, well, I used to live 10 minutes from it. So to go to Canada was nothing until, El Orange Turdo took over. So now things are a lot different, but it's everybody in Canada knows it's not our fault. you know. But all right, so
This
do
is
you
true.
want should we move over and you can explain what we're doing with the videos?
Sure,
All
we've got
right.
a ton of clips. I pulled out of I think there's close to 40 videos I've got on my channel right now of the Tooker Tapes Archive
Mhm.
project, and from that I picked 20, and of those 20 I picked clips from them. So and play the first clip. This is
All right, so let
Tooker.
me see how I set this up, everybody. Every clip that Kelly sent, he edited and he's got it all timed perfectly. So I didn't even have to do anything. I left it right in the email and all I have to do is go click and it'll show so we can watch. You want me to play the first one then?
Sure, go ahead. And I
Cuz
think I might add some commentary as we go along, and some context.
all right, that's perfect cuz that's everything I wanted from you. I just want to make sure we are okay, we're good to go. Let's go. It's movie night. Hope you have your popcorn. It's vegan.
Oh, so skip past that one. That was the one we just played.
Okay. All right. We'll skip past this one. Let's go to
Go right to
this
yeah.
one.
There we go.
All right.
So I'm not hearing him for some reason. I don't know how you guys are doing.
You're not hearing it? Hang on. Is everybody hearing that? Is everybody hearing it? If you're not, hang on. Tell me
There's
if you were hearing
popcorn.
it. No, no, no. If you're not hearing it, I've got to work on something and get the, it might not have the system audio on. So just a second. Can you guys hear this? All right. Let me just see, make sure.
No, sorry. Hell no.
No.
Well, there is the
Okay.
subtitles, which is
Nope.
nice.
No, no, no. I'll
Some of
get
these,
it.
you know what? Some of these videos
You
only
keep
have
talking.
audio on one channel.
No, this is my, I have to make sure okay,
Well, Sandy figures
audio.
that out. This clip that
Yeah.
we see here, this is Tucker Gomberg. This is about 2000, late
I
2002,
don't
January
understand why that's not
2003,
happening.
and he's in his apartment, Havelock Street, Toronto. This is where they pulled up on their bicycles and they're together and they had the globe, and he's pioneering live streaming. So we stand on the shoulder of this little giant.
Hang on.
Back in 2002, he's working hard and trying to figure out how to get the live stream. And the beautiful thing that he was doing as he was live streaming back then is that he was recording phone calls of himself, oftentimes being interviewed by media. So we get a lot of interesting story. And this particular story, he's talking about how he got involved with activism as a young man with a group called Le Monde de Bicyclette, and that's the name that was taken for his tribute song.
Really bothering me. Yeah, I don't know why I had it. The system audio was on earlier. Well, this is going to wreck the show, but hey, it's the beauty of live. So you keep talking while I try to
The beauty of
figure out what the frig.
now this isn't. I was
I'm not.
I was warned actually
My
to
output.
maybe not be not be public with this footage. I don't think it's that controversial, but
Hang on.
weird things have happened with previous people that have been in the possession of all these tapes. The least of which, of course,
We may have to
Rupert
do
Gomberg
this.
himself.
I want to try. I might have to try something a little bit different, which I don't understand why, but I
Okay.
may have to actually take us off the of the overlays because it's not playing in the overlay and just play it in the full screen. So let's see if I don't know if I could do that. I didn't set it up to do that. Jeez. It's supposed to play in the audio is supposed to play in there. It's on. See how the audio's on.
Mm-hmm.
And there is there's a setting for this and it was fine earlier. So oh boy. I hope I didn't mess this up somehow. The sound is supposed to play. Hang on, I'm going to test something. All right, guys, let me test this and see if. Just give us a second and don't leave. Please don't leave. I really want this to work. I do. Hang on. I will unmute us and I'm going to see if I can have this work in
Sound?
the yeah, just a sec. I'm trying something different.
Yeah, TR75 says maybe it's just this one video.
No, I know what it's not because on my sound levels, it's not showing the screen share playing. So that's the problem. And
Oops.
I don't understand it at all, and I don't really want the show to be ruined because of this. So it's not it's kind of pissing me off because you know what? This is bad. I'm not feeling good about this at all. I don't understand it.
What if we played it off my screen?
can you screen share? Do you see a screen share on yours
I
to
see a
do
share
it?
screen on this window that you have me in.
Oh my God. I hate when this shit happens. I'm not happy at all. I mean, it's supposed, see, there's a way to do, I'm doing the output and the output. See, there's an overlay for new, animated overlay, right? You can add that, but then I'd have to pick. I didn't download all these videos. Well, guys, here we are, screwed up, can't hear it, and I'm not happy. I am absolutely not happy. Oh, Kelly, I hope we don't have to redo this and just talk tonight and then have to redo this
That's
show.
okay. We're
But
gonna
I'm
we're gonna
not
figure.
happy. I'm miserable about this. This is not supposed to be happening. We're all supposed to be able to hear this because I have a system audio. There's a way to do on Ecamm Live. There's let's see. Hang on. Picture, show picture. Go ahead. You keep talking. Tell everybody about everything.
Okay, so Tucker Gomberg, activist extraordinaire. This clip that we were trying to get going here, he gives a real excellent insight into how he is personally, into his own style of getting things done. He was very action oriented.
Yeah.
So he gives an analogy. I think it's an analogy where he talks about how, there's a lot of meetings, people like to have a lot of meetings and have a lot of discussions and different things like that. And he was like, you know what, that's fine. Like if there's 15 people in a room and 8 people want to do one thing and 3 people don't want to do that, but they want to do another thing, just go and do that thing. Like you don't have to wait until we have consensus that everybody around the table for taking an action or trying to do something. So he was very action oriented, very not impulsive. What's the other word I'm looking for? Spontaneous in coming up with the things that he would try. And I think that's why he really liked the work that Le Monde de Bicyclette was doing. And they were an activist organization out of Montreal. And they got into street theater and, just did things in a fun way that would gain attention, that would bring the cameras out, get a little bit of media attention. Maybe it was a little bit radical, maybe it was uncomfortable. But he explains how that approach and those types of organizations were able to then make space for the more middle of the road shirt and tie type organizations that, were sitting down with the counselors and the politicians and the business people and that type of thing. And giving them an opportunity to, so basically by having the radicals out there pushing the envelope, it made it more of a safe space for the middle of the road organizations and activists to actually get things done. So it's kind of like a hand in hand thing. And even though he was an elected councillor for one term in Edmonton, Alberta, and he did amazing work there, he never really fit into that corporate world, that type of suit and tie sort of thing. And I'm wearing the shirt here, as you can see, it's got a tie on it, and that was kind of a running gag throughout his term as a city councilor, where he refused to wear a tie. And this is the early 90s, right? You can get away with it now. It's kind of more casual. Politicians can do that, and you can see them sometimes even without a tie. But Tucker was one of the first. He's like, I'm not wearing a tie, like this stupid symbol of patriarchy, whatever. Like, forget it. So he just refused to do it. Actually, at the time, city councilors were called aldermen, and he refused to take that title as well. He's like, no, I'm not an alderman. You can call me councilor. And then eventually, I'm not sure if it was during that term or afterwards, that the city of Edmonton, they got rid of the whole alderman moniker, and now councilors are just called city councilors, which is kind of nice. So we did this term, 92 to 95, Edmonton City Council, brought a lot of things forward, got a lot of things done in the city of Edmonton. Bikes on buses was one of them. A push towards compost. So he got the ball rolling to get a large compost digester system to deal with our municipal waste. He pushed really hard on energy conservation and alternative energy, renewable energy, solar and wind, and this type of thing. And he even proposed some things, or brought up some things. He said, I brought up some things, and he really got hammered hard in the media. He talks later on in his life and his experience how how the media in Edmonton, largely print media, radio and TV, the internet was just being born then, really shaped how people felt about him. So they didn't always paint him in a very good light. So when it came time to get reelected, he had a very high bar to
Yeah.
overcome, because people were already, I guess, biased, because of the media work. Now again, maybe if he would have just sucked it up and put on a tie, and stopped being continuously radical with his ideas every day of the week, maybe that would have played more to the mainstream. Who knows? But we could count on with him is that he was true to his heart. He was true to the issues. He plays and he dresses up and he makes believe and there's a lot of friendliness and stuff where you're not sure whether to take him serious, but the issues that he was on were very, very, very serious, and he never wavered from that commitment. So the electoral politics, it was something that caught a spark, caught his imagination. He was into media, but like I said, the internet hadn't yet woken up. He was into photography and film and this type of thing, um, and then when he ran for office and got into office, he realized, wow, this is really an amazing way to push the agenda forward. Like even just talking about things, like it would get the press. So one of the things that came up from his imagination was, um, having the streets. If the streets were ice, people could put on skates and go to work that way. And he got hammered on it, and people probably still bring it up in the media when they talk about Tucker. It's like, oh yeah, he wanted to flood the streets and so we could all skate to work. And he's got a
You
really
sounded like
excellent.
such a great guy.
He was super creative, and always there was always something new and always something
Right?
interesting that was going to happen. So we don't have flooded streets in Edmonton, although it is very icy and slippery today. But we do. There's a couple of parks in the city, Victoria Park and I think Rundle Park, along our river valley, that have, like a skating path through the trees and stuff
Oh,
that
that's
people can go on, which
nice.
is kind of lovely. And then, of course, as many people know, in Ottawa, when it gets cold enough, they got the lovely Rideau Canal, where people can skate along and commute through the city of Ottawa, which is nice. And he was trying to sort of make that parallel. Another interesting thing that Tooker talked about was oh geez, the name escapes me now. It's like a diagonal elevator coming out of the
Mm-hmm.
river valley. Um, oh, I feel so dumb for not knowing the word of it.
Oh
But
my goodness, don't feel that way. I'm just
he
playing around. I'm going to try something in a second. I'm
cool.
not sure if it's going to work. Hang on. Let me just. No, I'm not happy. I
No,
love
I'm
listening to you though. I'm so happy you're talking about that. I mean, I could play it with this the captions, but this is not how it played earlier when I set this up. It was fine. Jeez.
Well, even if it just plays with captions, like it wouldn't
Well,
be
we
the
can
worst, and I could
try
sort of it could
this.
sort of narrate, but it's not. It's obviously not the best way to go.
No, it had system audio, and I really, I haven't had a live stream be screwed up in a very long time, a really long time. This
It could
was
be. It could be a holdover
perfect.
curse for the Tucker Tapes archive
Well,
project.
I should have probably, if I had downloaded every single one, but when I see how it's perfect. This was perfect. And it's playing, it's like playing in your YouTube. It's playing in the YouTube. It should not be. All right. So hang on. We'll go back to the other screen. We're going to try one more thing. And then we just might have to talk about it. And you might have to see, would I play it? Okay. So here we are. And it should be, but you guys can't hear it. There are, there are, all right. And there should be a system audio where this is just automatically playing.
I can hear
And
something.
no, it's not showing up in my sound levels, and that is the problem. And I'm like, is there one thing I'm missing? I feel really stupid, guys. I really do, because I feel like there's one thing I'm missing
Do you
that
want to?
I'm
Do you want to try?
forgetting.
Do you want to try my screen?
You want to try to share your screen and see if it works that way? Because this hasn't happened. I haven't had this happen. This is I haven't had this shit happen in so long. What is it that I am not all
Okay,
right.
I'm sharing you mine.
Okay, let's see if we can do that. If we can do that, Antonio has done that before. And oops. Okay, hang on. I can assign this as I can assign this. Let's see if that comes in. Hang on.
Let me know
Guys,
what it.
I'm really appreciative of everybody hanging in there because this is, like I said, I don't understand where your screen share is. Hang on, I'm going back to the other one. Just a minute, because I should be able to add in this one, which is number 3. I've assigned it. And wow, I am friggin' getting pissed. I am like really
Oh,
getting mad. Well, Kelly, what I'd really like to ask about uh this is about you and him is how did you meet?
when we were working at I was working at the Greenpeace office. I was a
Yeah.
canvasser for Greenpeace, and he came to give a guest talk
Wow. All right, let's see if this
as one of
works.
the local environmentalists. Now Tucker is originally from Montreal,
Hmm.
and he found himself out in Edmonton. And not many people know this, but I think
You
one of his
got it.
first.
Look, it's your screen.
Oh, okay. Let me make it bigger. And if I hit play, we'll see what happens. Should I hit play?
Okay, yeah, play. Hit play. I can't hear it now. Oh, come on. Okay. Can anybody else hear it? Wow, this really sucks big time. I've got it, and it should play yours, but you've got control right now. You guys can hear me. I don't hear you, so I don't hear this at all. Huh.
I got the volume up.
Volume. Check audio options. I've done all that. This is I haven't had anything like this happen in forever. So hang on. Let me see on this screen where the audio options are. You're all the way turned up. And it should be working. No, I don't want that. Well, we are trying our best tonight, but it's got, I don't know. I really don't. When I did this with Antonio, it worked and he shared the screen and it was just fine. Back to live mode. Well, I don't know what to do, guys. I really don't. I'm very disappointed in my software tonight. Like, it never usually does this shit. I had everything set up. Well. It worked. And now it's just not. I've got the camera switcher on. Hang on. Let me make sure this is all working. No. I've got your thing. It's just not doing what I want it to. And there's sound. All right, let's try sound. Well, we
Oh,
may. What? Did you hear something? Did you
well,
guys
it
hear
looks like
anything? I'll try
Looney
another
Tunes.
video. Try another video. But I don't think it's the video. I had this perfectly set up.
Oops.
Oh, I hate this shit. You have absolutely no idea how mad I am. Oh, stop being hard on myself. I can't help it because this was perfect. Today it
I'm
was
trying
perfect.
another.
Yeah, I really wanted this to work. I really did.
Am
And
I?
it's playing, but I don't hear it. I don't hear it. And so, the screen share here should have, I've never had this. Even when Antonio did this, it worked. And you have control. You've got control. I've got control. What is the preview mode? I don't want to do that. Well, I just have this feeling, guys. Me and Kelly is going to be talking.
Okay, movie night, a window into
I think
history. Oh,
movie
that's
night
that's
is
the other
gonna.
screen.
I think we might have to do movie night another time.
Can you all still hear Sandy and I?
You guys can hear me? Well, I could put us both back on, you know. I mean, if we can just come back on.
How was the
I mean, we're
reference
just
at that
back on.
intersection
Could you
earlier
hear
today? That's pretty
us?
cool.
Could you hear us with that? I mean, I could
There's a
take us
mute in
off
the
and
address
on.
bar.
No, no, no. It's not. Nobody has Ecamm. I have Ecamm, and underneath here, it's not muted. I don't think. No. Can you hear us? Oh, you can hear us when we're like this. So
Okay,
what
well
the fuck is
that's
going
encouraging.
on here? All right. Can you hear? This is ridiculous. I'm so mad. I'm gonna cry. Like I said, I have
So
not
this is.
had anything like
I'll
this
just give you a
happen.
brief recap on what's
All
happening at
right.
this action. This is
Good.
Montreal,
Talk.
1997. Tooker's on the on the megaphone there. I think that was Angela, also with the helmet. And this is interesting little bit. There's a reporter at this action actually taking notes and paying attention. So I thought it was very interesting back prior to 9/11 that the media, they were a lot more interested in showing up. Like you can see TV guys out there and they're covering this big long action. So what they're doing is they're commemorating, they're bringing attention to 40, I think it was 46 cyclists and pedestrians, they said, that were killed the year before
Mm-hmm.
in Montreal because of cars. So they have the ghosts, they have 46 pumpkins, they break up all these ghosts, they do a little song and dance and march around a little bit. They're blocking traffic, they're blocking 1 or 2 lanes of traffic at this point in time. You can hear the horns honking, and so they're doing a little die-in now, which is nice. Here's a couple of reporters. They kind of almost run into each other and get into a little bit something. So this is 1997. This is before Tucker, he comes back to Edmonton to put in a run for the mayor of Edmonton,
Mm-hmm.
and was unfortunately unsuccessful in his run for mayor of Edmonton. Where are we?
But he tried. He
He
tried,
did
which
try.
is great.
So I'm just skipping ahead. So this is that reporter, and she's actually interviewing him, and I thought it was really hilarious that he takes. Yeah, so there he is. So he keeps his ghost costume on, which is kind of nice, and the helmet holds his ghost mask in place very well. And after he does this interview, he does a little. I'm just going to skip right ahead.
Mm-hmm.
He does a little bit of guerrilla gardening. So we've got all this pumpkin detritus out on the street, and he doesn't want to leave a big mess, so he scoops it all up, and he's like, you know what? I've been looking at this park for a long time. So his friend is all like, yeah, it's the pumpkin patch. He says, well, I seen this park right across the street, and I've been thinking about it for a long time. So he
Yeah.
goes over there, and he's like, this is real broadcasting. Doing some guerrilla gardening. I don't know if y'all remember the guerrilla gardening craze that was happening in
Yes,
the early 2000s.
I
Maybe it's
do.
still a thing.
I do.
Maybe it's still a thing that's going on. Okay, so I have to shrink this down quickly. Hit pause. Go
Well,
back
I'm
over.
glad
Oh,
that you're doing some narrating. You know, I could put very low music on in the back, and then it could feel a little bit more like movie night.
quite possibly.
I just have to laugh. What can I do? I'm not gonna cry.
So Tooker was like, okay,
Yeah.
electoral politics for the win. I better not. Where am I? Oh no, I gotta keep that muted. I don't know how you do this, Sandy. It's actually quite complicated to have all these different monitors going
It
on.
never
different things.
used to. I mean, I've had this with Antonio, and it was fine. But maybe we didn't have audio, and he was just doing a presentation.
So a little bit of context for this video, which
Mm-hmm.
just you saw the opening shot, the man holding up the T-shirt saying "No to Adam's Mine." That was the
Is
mayor
that
of Toronto.
David Suzuki?
And this is David Suzuki.
Oh my God!
This is really
Look
cool.
at that.
So the issue at the time was Adam's Mine. Toronto, what they wanted to do is they wanted to ship all their garbage to an abandoned mine in northern Ontario
Oh my
in
God.
Kirkland Lake. So, activists in Toronto, they got a hold of this. They're like, no, this is BS. We're not gonna stand for that. The people
Right.
up in Kirkland Lake are like, are you kidding? We're not taking all your garbage in the giant open mine that's just sitting in our neighborhood, in our
Right.
area. We're not going to do that. So as part of this campaign, David Suzuki got involved, and this is Tooker's running for mayor at the time. David Suzuki gave Tooker an endorsement for his campaign when he was running for mayor. Here's Gord Perks just to David Suzuki's left. He was a reporter at the time, I think, and
Yeah.
or maybe he was a city councilor at the time. Anyways, I'm gonna let this play. I should have just been letting it play and then talk over it because you can't hear
Well,
what
I
he's
could
saying.
do the
Anyways,
same thing too without the screen share. I mean, we could unscreen share and I can just do the same thing. It's just this is just so silly for me anyway.
so David Suzuki was like, if anyone tells you that the water coming out of that mine is going to be okay, they're either stupid or they're lying. That's very exciting. And this is at the beginning of the campaign. It's the first time that Tooker gets to meet Mel Lastman as mayor. And Tooker's like, hey, we should, not do the Adams Mine thing. And the mayor is like, we got too much garbage. Like, it's too much. We can't just recycle it all. So Tooker gives him this shirt. And I'm standing there and I'm filming this. I'm like, Mayor, could you hold up the shirt? And he holds up the shirt. So here we go.
Wow,
I'm like,
look at
Mayor,
that.
hold up the shirt. And then I say out loud, I'm like, Mayor Mel says no to Adams Mine. And you look at his face. He's like, no, I didn't say that. You mustn't lie.
Oh shit.
And the very next day, we took a still frame of that video with him holding up the T-shirt,
Right?
and we made a bunch of little 4x5 paper copies of this, and we handed them out to all the counselors. We had them, going all over the city. This is kind of a
Right?
joke, like this
It's
is Mayor Mel. This is the deputy mayor with the
mm-hmm.
glasses, and I saw them coming out of town or out of City Hall. And I'm chasing after them. I'm like, are you the guys that are, figuring to make big dough off this Adams Mine proposal? And the one guy in the back there in the brown suit, he's like, who are you? So I
Wow.
circle around to the front, and then the deputy mayor, he does these shenanigans. He kind of comes at me, and he's like, ooga booga or whatever. And it was very strange. And then we're going to cut to, we're going to see some little kids that were on a field trip to Toronto City Hall, and I interview them, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? What do you think about the Adams Mine thing? They're like, you know what, we should recycle and do all this stuff instead. It was all very, very adorable. But what I'm going to do is skip ahead a little bit. Here we are. This is one of the proposals that Tooker was trying to get the mayor to cotton onto. And this is a
Wow.
facility in Newmarket, Ontario, where they're taking the
Look
wet
at that.
waste and they're breaking it all down and putting it in a large digester
Oh,
and
look at that. What year was
turning it
this?
into methane. Sorry?
What year was this? I'm going to go back to us. You know
Okay.
why? I'm going to end the screen share, go back to us. You'll tell me where to be so that we could be on the screen with it while you're narrating. All right?
Oh, okay.
I'm going to end it. And I'm going to bring us back.
So you're
Hang
gonna
on.
bring up your videos with us on the
I'm
screen
going to
then.
bring us back. Yeah, but I have to find us. Here we are. Okay. We should be. Well, now that's not happening. Can you guys hear us now? Oh, okay. Here
Oh,
we
that's
are.
hilarious.
We're back. We're back, right? All right. So we're back, and you tell me which video to pull up now, because obviously we're not going to hear it. What number? It was the garbage one or the clear the air?
The next one after garbage.
Okay. Here we go. Here we
I gotta
go.
turn my thing off.
I hear it, but they don't.
Bring you back over here. Oh no.
No, I don't think
Put you
they
over
hear it,
there.
though. I hear the singing on it. Yeah.
And well, this is a really good video. The great thing is, if you guys are missing out on the audio, and you're interested in seeing what's actually happening, it's all on my YouTube channel. You can go check out all that stuff, and some of it might even make it into the movie later, which is cool.
All
This
right.
gentleman, you saw him. Oh, you saw you. Okay, so he was just taken off the street by the cops. And he gets up and just casually goes back over and sits down on the street. That was Matthew Behrens. He's probably been arrested more times than anybody in this country as far as activism is concerned.
Wow.
He's perennially he's super activist. And when you get a chance to see this video with the audio, you'll hear him give an excellent bit at the end. Tooker's on camera and he's running the questions. And interestingly, the other media is there. You can see their mics are in on the action as well. But Tooker is driving the interview, and he's just like sharp and spot on. And he's such a good speaker. This woman, I fortunately found out that she has deceased. And it's really sad. Of course, Tooker has passed. But as I'm uncovering all this footage, there's so many people that are no longer with us, which is very, very, very sad. Angela, the woman in the polka dot dress and the gas mask, you might remember from the earlier videos, that's Tooker's wife. She was also arrested on that day. I haven't uncovered the tape that shows her arrest. There were 7 of them arrested. They're called the Smog 7. And there's a shot there. You can see how awful the sky is. Like, it's just gross. Like, this is the summer of 2001, I think. Sandy, I imagine you were in New York, and the air quality probably wasn't dissimilar in your neck of the woods down there. So this is Matthew Behrens. He's getting arrested. He's getting marched over to the truck. They're deciding what to do with him and process him and whatnot. And he's given a really great interview. He's inviting people to not take out their frustrations with the police. Police are just doing their job. The activists, we're all here doing our jobs. Let's not boo the police. Let them do their thing. We're all going to get arrested. Other people are going to get arrested. And he goes on to talk about how this is a human rights issue and how earlier that summer he had to take his child to the emergency department because they were having a hard time breathing. So they had to go in an oxygen tent or something or other. So again, we can see the different TV and radio, CFRB radio, CTV. That's one of our national broadcasters. They're all in on this, and Matthew, he's holding the gaze with Tooker's camera, which I just love. And then I've cut the part out where, as the cops are walking him to the back of the truck, they take a Polaroid of him or something, and he breaks character, and he's very polite, and he gives him a nice smile for the picture, and then right there you can see him sort of pass the Polaroid to the other cop, and then he puts him into the back of the paddy wagon, which I have to ask, maybe put it out to the crowd here. Is that a racist term, paddy wagon?
Why is it?
Am I dating myself?
I don't know. I mean, it's an old term. I mean, it reminds me of like the 1920s and 30s when they used to round people up, but I don't know. What do you think, guys? Right, there's probably some people that never even heard the term.
But is it like making fun of the Irish or something? I don't know.
Anyways,
we can move on. There's a young friend.
Because the Tooker's police in the time in New York City were a lot of Irish police, and the paddy. I don't know. Listen, I'm not politically correct.
That last guy you see on screen, he's he works for Greenpeace. He's the head climate campaigner for Greenpeace Canada, Keith Stewart.
Right, let me get this.
And one of the really fun things about this project is pulling out these clips and then reaching out to people and saying, hey, guess what I found? And then sending them this clip. They're like, oh my God, I look so young, or I'm so thin, or that was so long ago.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. Okay, this is the next one. Or did I?
So this was an interesting little bit that I guess I put up to. I thought my intro was important or something. There's Angela once again, her trademark maneuver, chalk writing on the street. So this was I imagine people there, you've heard of Reclaim the Streets, or you've taken part in Reclaim the Streets. It was another real popular movement around the turn of the millennium where folks would just show up and take over a street and have a street party and have music and different things. So that's what they did. I think this is Queen Street, downtown Toronto, and they able to occupy the street for a long time. This cop is hilarious. He blows Tooker. Yeah, you see him. He blows Tooker a kiss. And then we've got fire people. You can see a motorhome parked on the side of the street. On top of that motorhome, on top of that trailer, is a sound system. So we've got music that's playing, and then later on, so the
Oh.
cop is like, "Okay, I don't want to give you a ticket, but you got to really shut down this. You got to shut down this music." And here, this must be a business owner, right? He's like, "Man, can you guys get these people out of the neighborhood?" It's kind of getting ridiculous. But they're able to hold the street for quite a long time. The police are basically,
Yeah,
they
what
eventually
not?
are able to shoo them out of there. Some woman is complaining, coming up, how here she is. She's like, "Why are you kicking my dog?" And the cop's like, "Nobody was kicking your dog." And she's like, "Well, somebody was." He's like, "Well, I'm sorry." So the cops, they show up in horses, right? That was their big thing. But one thing to really note is the change. You can see it physically now when you see police come out in the streets
Mm-hmm.
for a protest. It's like watching friggin' ice action in Chicago, right? They're all
Oh my
beefed up,
God.
and they all got their body armor and helmets and
It's awful.
weapons, and like it's paramilitary. This was back when the police were actually still just dressed up as police. You can see them. Another running theme: they're trying to steal Angela's bicycle. But thankfully, she's quite fit and quite strong, and she wasn't letting go of that bike, which was kind of cool. But they did manage to grab some people and take their bikes and put some people. Yeah, we can skip now. This is just after party where people had got arrested, and then a bunch of
Look at
activists
him.
show up and
Look
roast
at
corn outside the police headquarters in downtown Toronto in a way
He's a
to
hoot.
get them
He was a hoot.
out of there. And Tooker, he's hamming it up at the end. This is
Of
just a little clip
course.
that I put in
What
for his
a
Tooker
what a
TV.
shame. Okay, he seemed like such an amazing person. So now we're on to Robin Hood, correct?
Sure. So Robin Hood, so like I say, Tooker, he loved to ham it up and get playful. He's in the midst of his election campaign. He's running to be mayor. You've got the city hall in the background. You've got a statue of Winston Churchill behind him, and this is a space at City Hall called Speaker's Corner. So he went there
Okay.
to launch the Robin Hood persona, and here he is getting the getting a little plastic arrow right into the face of Mel Lastman when Mel, he's out on the street doing a little glad handing or whatever.
What year was
And
this, Cal?
so this is 2000.
Okay. God, 25 years already.
25
Holy
years.
shit. Wow. Wowie wow.
And what was interesting is it's like the summer, it's late summer, early fall 2000. Yeah, it must have been right late summer, beginning of September. And he announces his run for mayor of Toronto. I was staying with my sister at the time, and it came on the morning news. It's like, oh, former city councilor Tooker Gomberg is running for mayor of Toronto. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. So I picked up the phone. I called him up and said, hey, man, I just heard about your campaign to run for the mayor, and right on. I think that's awesome. And he's like, hey, you should come on out and join me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we could use your help on the campaign. I'm like, I had nothing going on at the time, so I'm like, sure, I'll definitely come on out there. So I jumped on a bus. It was like a 3-day bus ride, honest to God, from Edmonton to Toronto, and joined up in on the campaign. And it
All
was hilarious.
right.
So all this time, so Tooker, he's hounding the mayor at this point. He's trying to get the mayor to agree to a debate. That was the whole stick. He's like, why won't you debate me, Mr. Lastman? And we're going to
Wow.
see something. So we did. So go to the next one, just to your right there.
Am I on it?
No, we just did
Oh,
him.
we just did this one. Sorry.
So that was Robin Hood.
Sorry.
And
Oh, okay. Sorry. There we
that's okay.
go.
The next clip was my favorite clip of the mayor campaign. It's called Garrison Creek. So I think I was having a nap, or it's really late at night, and Tooker, he was diagnosed with some mental health issues, and at the end of his life, he was on antidepressant medication,
Oh.
and we didn't find out until after Tooker died that a not too uncommon side effect of antidepressant medication was suicidal ideation.
Yeah, they
Sadly
found that
ironic.
out years later. I mean, years later. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
But anyways, back to this clip. Here we have Tooker. It's 3:00 in the morning and it's pouring rain, and he's like, working at his computer. I brought up the mental issues because maybe he was manic, maybe he was bipolar, because he wasn't running on any sleep. I'm trying to keep up with him. Anyways, 3 o'clock in the morning, it's raining outside. He's like, come with me. So we go outside. It's the pouring rain. We're out on College Street. The streetcars are going by. We can see our friend Jean. He's in the background. And he's trying to get the bicycle in there with the sign at certain
Mm-hmm.
times. And Tucker's talking about, why are we wasting all this opportunity? We're just letting all this water fall from the sky, and we build these concrete tunnels under the ground to just take all this water to Lake Ontario. Why aren't we capturing this water, using it on site? Right? All this rainwater, we could use it for
Yeah.
washing our dishes and showering and flushing the toilets and all that stuff. And he shows this manhole cover, and I take the camera and I point it down at the manhole cover, and you can actually hear the creek running underneath below. So he didn't have the name of it offhand, but he was already savvy enough to know that people around the world, there was a movement that was happening to uncover the creeks. So what is that word? It's happening now. People are doing it. It's happening in Vancouver, different cities. I'd like to get it starting here in Edmonton to uncover portions of Mill Creek,
Mm-hmm.
which would be really nice. So he was very much ahead of his time. We can move on to the next one.
Which is throwing down.
Okay, so here we catch up to Mel. So part of the campaign, we're trying to find where Mel Lastman is. Is this the Gauntlet?
Which one is it?
Yes, this is the Gauntlet.
Okay, good.
So we find where Mel Lastman is. He's at this event in a little suburb north of the main part of Toronto, and we show up, and Tucker waits for his moment, and he's got a hockey glove, and you can only see it for a quick second, and he tosses this hockey glove as the gauntlet, right? Like the old days, we're going to throw down the gauntlet. I challenge you to a duel, but I challenge you to a debate. So Tucker, he's just ranting and raving. The cops grab him immediately. They start dragging him out. He's like, why are you dragging me out? They're like, well, you're not welcome here to do this stuff. And he's being hurt by this one cop off to his left, and you can see him. He's like, you're hurting me. Why are you, stop doing that? And, but he doesn't miss a beat. You can see him crack a little bit of a smile there as soon as we get outside, and there's the TV cameras and the reporters start taking pictures, and he's being frog marched out to down this parking lot, around the corner, through a parking lot, finally over to the police where they search him and put him into the back of the car, and he puts up a bit of a stink. He's like, why are you even searching me? Like, this is ridiculous. We live in a democracy. We should be having a debate. I just came here to have a debate. I don't know why you guys are roughing me up. And it's classic. It's classic Tucker. He doesn't pause. He's not he's not getting really angry. He does mention to the cop, like, hey, like, you're hurting me. Can you take it easy? But he's able to keep his messaging going and keep talking to the media. And they're like, what's going on? And you guys can see from the titles essentially what is transpiring with that. We don't have to go through the whole thing. It's not as dramatic without hearing what he is saying.
Aww.
But sure, but that's okay.
Do you want me to
interesting
go
that
up to the next one?
Or you could just jump ahead a couple minutes and let's see what's happening. Just skip ahead.
Oh, he's getting into the cop car. There he goes.
Yeah, so they're taking him over to the car.
So gently.
They're gonna give him a little. Oh, I cut out the part where they pat him down. Unless you did skip ahead, and I just.
We did. Oh yeah. Wait. Oh.
That's okay.
And he goes,
okay.
"Are you working for Mr. Lastman?" Ah. Why the handcuffs? Today it would be beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, well, they're
in
not
the
being
United
gentle with him.
States.
They're just wrenching on his wrists, right?
Yeah.
And so they put him in the handcuffs, put him in the car, and even in the back of the car, he's not missing a beat. He's still going, and trying to get his messaging across. This is me behind the camera, right? I'm covering all this
That's great,
stuff.
Kelly.
And eventually you'll see,
Shit.
I turn the camera on myself to give a little bit of live commentary on what, so there he is. He's still in the back of the car, still making his appeals to the media on what's happening. They eventually decide, okay, well, we're not going to be pressing any charges. And they let him out of the car. This woman cop, she kind of gives me a little bit of the business. She's like, could you just basically F off? Like, get out of my face with the camera. Yeah, there she is.
Like, she goes, I could hear a little bit because I turned it up. I could hear it. You guys can't, unfortunately. But she's like, could you back up? She really wasn't very nice. Oh my
But she ends up
God.
turning it around. She lets him out, and you can see he's very cordial with her. One of the really fascinating things about Tooker is that he,
Look at you. Oh my God. What were you, 12? Oh
right? I'm
my
29.
God.
I'm
29
29
years
there.
old then.
Just slim and
Wow.
dark.
Oh, we all were. That's what happens.
That was funny. I got even slimmer because this was early in the campaign, and I'm still following him for another month and a half, and then after that, we end up buggering off over to Europe for the for COP6
Okay,
in
do
The
you want me to
Hague.
move up?
Yeah, sure. Let's just burn through a bunch of different ones because
Bye-bye.
we're
Bye-bye.
already we're already close to an hour.
Oh my, well, yeah, but I spent like what, 20 minutes screwing around and being pissed off. Uh, okay,
Get your
here's
hands off my what?
he was talking.
I'm trying to look at some of the
How is
trying to look
he
at some of the.
where
Oh,
how is
sorry. Go
he
ahead.
doing this? The Pope squat.
So the Pope Squat. This was a building that was squatted
Yeah,
by squatter activists in Toronto, and they held it for a while. I'm
yeah.
not sure why it was called the Pope Squat. I think it was squatted at the same time maybe the
Oh,
Pope visited or something.
all right.
And Tooker was covering this, and he's also got his TOTV, and he's also very playful, and he'd come up with these costumes and disguises and personas. So here he is playing a cop, right? He's
Oh,
got the hat, he's got a little stick that he's playing, pretending his baton. He had the
yeah,
bad shirt, and he even put on a
yeah,
tie, and he's
yeah.
saying, how horrible it is that we got
Right.
to keep these places empty because it's a fire trap inside, and the proper way to deal with homelessness is to write reports. And that's what you do is you write reports, and then you sit around at city council, and you talk about these reports, and that's how you handle homelessness. You don't let people just take over buildings. Like what kind of a world would we live in if people were just allowed to do that? You're supposed to pay rent. You need to be a part of the economic system. So it's a really hilarious satirical take on the situation. And I think some of the people, one person who watched this, they kind of had like a thumbs down, or they gave me an angry emoji. I think on the Facebook because
Oh,
maybe they
really?
thought that maybe they
Oh
thought like this
shit.
was they didn't get the joke that Tooker was just sort of pretending to.
Yeah, he was pretending. He was just messing around. Oh my God. Okay, this I listened to this earlier and it sounded fine. You guys can't hear it. This guy was amazing.
He is amazing. There was a lot of really great man. Um, he's a minister in New York City. I think he said he's in Brooklyn maybe. Um, he's an elder at that point. He'd be really old if he's still alive today. So this was
Yeah.
an all faith protest to against the second Gulf War. So this is
Oh wow.
2002, maybe
Yeah.
January of 2003. So Tucker shows up at this all faith uh, protest, and all these ministers they came there with they're getting arrested. The cops knew they're getting arrested. There's even one
Uh-huh.
cop that mentions one of the gentlemen that, oh yeah, I remember I've arrested you before. So it's all very routine. And somehow Tooker oh yeah, there's a cop asking Tooker if he's got press credentials,
He wanted to
which
play you some harmonica.
he did sort of have some
Wow.
press credentials. And then they get into the back of the paddy wagon, and pardon me if I'm
And they're all
speaking
singing.
inappropriately. They're all singing. What are they singing?
Ain't
What's that
gonna
song? We
study war no more. Ain't
That's
gonna
right.
study
There we
war
go.
no more. Excuse me, officer. Would
And
you
and
mind putting
somehow
that back up?
somehow Tooker was able to get he's handcuffed in the back of the paddy wagon, but he still has his camera, and he's able to get it rolling and get some of that footage. And now he's rolling. They're moving them into the police station, and at one point in time, Tooker's like, I wonder if you wouldn't could you straighten out my backpack? It's falling off, and
Yeah,
the cop
my
does. And
my
and then Tooker's like,
pasta.
do you mind taking off these handcuffs for me? Like, and the cop laughs, and then the cop's like, well, we got to take the camera. And Tucker said, oh, well, actually, I was thinking like maybe we could do some interviews in the cell. Like that'd be really cool. And the cop is like, you know what? No, we're not gonna we're not gonna let you do that. So they take his camera, they put him in jail. I haven't discovered through either his own narration or telling a story to someone or in an interview how long he stayed in police custody in New York City. if they'd actually laid charges, if he had to go back and face charges. I don't think that that was the case, but he'd been to New York a couple times during that space and time, and he's even we got some footage. I don't think I've got it in this clip setup from
Probably
Washington
in
D.C.
another one.
So he's at a big anti-war rally in Washington D.C. as well, and gets some
Mm-hmm.
amazing speeches. We got Jessica Lange, Al Sharpton,
Wow.
bunch of other fantastic people. So we've got there's some
What was
real
going on
amazing.
here with your camera work?
So this is my camera work. This is just
Yeah.
Tooker. He's running the
Oh.
camera,
Oh,
and it's
gotcha.
in his arms, right? And
Yep.
he's just letting it roll to catch the audio. And the cops don't know that the camera is running at this point in time until they finally take his camera and they're like, "Oh, can you turn it off?" He's like, "Oh no, it's fine. It's just in standby." And the cop finally figures out how to turn the camera off, and then that was
Okay.
that
You
was
know,
the end of that.
all these are on your channel. So even though it
Absolutely.
got screwed up here with the audio, which I bet right after we finish this whole live stream, I'll figure it
Hmm.
out. But let's
It
okay, where do
probably
you
works.
want to be next? Which one do you want to
So
be
where's the
next?
next one?
Song for Angela, but we can't hear the
So
singing.
let's just play that real quick. I'll just give you a quick little idea on what that was. When I had shot this, it stayed in my mind. And when these tapes first were in my close proximity about 10
Look at
years or
him.
more ago, I'd mentioned to the person, "Hey, keep an eye out for this song. It's really beautiful. Is on my mind, and I wanted to be able to pull it out and share it with Angela."
Aw.
It's like midnight. We're in The Hague. This is post Cop Six. We're
Cop
basically
6. Wow.
we're stuck in The Hague because we both burnt our passports in
Wow.
protest. So we're living in a squat. We might have been evicted from the squat at this point, and we're roaming the streets of The Hague. And we're at what is this? This the I think I wrote it down. It's a palace in The Hague, one of the royal palaces, one of the inner courtyards. They had this beautiful fountain, and he pulls out his harmonica and he plays this lovely song called "The Water Is Wide" for his wife. He's missing his wife Angela, and at the end of the song, he's like, "Angela, please come back to me." There's this big body of water in between us, and it was very moving, very nice and lovely.
Oh,
But we can move on. We'll
all right,
have a couple
let's
of other quick
move
little
on.
clips.
We move on to. Did we see the David? This was David. See, I want you guys to go to Kelly's YouTube. You'll have to go and see all these because this is not doing it justice. But your narration is wonderful, Kelly. It's
Well,
just
thank you. So this is a
wonderful.
this is a young David Suzuki,
Yeah.
1997 Kyoto. Our climate folks in the chat and watching will, of course, remember that the Kyoto Protocol, was a big
Yep.
part of the climate process and reaching agreement to that. So Tucker and Angela, they're there. They run into David Suzuki, and he gives this great little bit. And Angela asks him if it's reasonable. She says, "Is it reasonable to reduce our consumption and our emissions by 50 to 90%?" He says, "Reasonable, like, well, you can see
Yeah.
on the screen." He's like, "We have no choice. Like, it's something that we have to do." So if people are wondering, how did Dave Suzuki come to such a conclusion that he has lately,
Now.
that is basically, okay, we're done, we're cooked, like, we got to talk about survival at this point. It's because he understood the science, and he was there
I might
right from the
download
get-go.
this if you don't mind. I might download this clip and make it into something so I can use
Oh,
it,
absolutely.
and then I will guide everybody to your channel and your
Oh,
fundraiser
100%. Yes, any and
also
all of this stuff,
because yeah,
feel free.
this is a fundraiser. You're doing a fundraiser to try to get this done. This is a real story. I mean, this is an incredible story. And had we had this audio working right, you guys would have heard all of this. But I think your narration is wonderful. I can't at the last minute, really I give you kudos for this.
Well, thank you. And maybe it works better. I was
But
wondering, how
see,
am I going to be able to do the narration and the thing, and there's one of the
yeah,
one of the challenges I'm having with this project is there's so much there. Like, it's really hard to focus in on, okay, what are the real essential bits. So I'm pulling out some interesting bits. There's a ton of other interesting bits, and then the immediate challenge is first to come up with another $15,000 to $20,000 so we can finish the archive digitization process.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that, we develop a script, and then we start working on a documentary. That's I guess the main goal.
I
So here's
think it's
Tooker. He's
great.
at his friend Brian's place here in Edmonton, and Brian had discovered what became known as the lost document. And on the lost document,
Oh,
it said that the government of Alberta did their own study back in the 90s that they could invest a certain amount of money in energy conservation and
in
this type of thing
Alberta, what a
in
difference
Alberta.
now. Yeah,
So
with
they could
your
invest money into the right things and make money at it. But of course, they buried that report. They didn't let anybody see that report because the Alberta government is totally into supporting oil and gas, even to this very day. So Tooker's like, man, we got this report. This is amazing. And that clip I just showed, Tooker's on the phone with the Heritage Foundation. And the Heritage Foundation is like a slush
Wha-
fund. It's
yeah.
like some kind of investment fund for the
Oh
government of
my.
Alberta. It's supposed to be our savings account.
Oh.
And he's telling them, hey, we got, are you interested in a 30% return? Right? Because the government of Alberta, they did their own study. We can invest in energy conservation and make 30%. Right?
Yeah.
Which is very exciting. He's very excited about this. So it ended up becoming a campaign. He'd come to Alberta to start a tour showing a video that him and his wife Angela had made,
Mm-hmm.
called the Kyoto or Bust tour. So they were showing a film, and they were trying to build up support for getting Canada to sign on to the Kyoto Protocol, which they had not yet done so. And once they found the lost document, well, Tooker went into activist mode. Next thing you know, this is the Alberta legislature where the provincial government sits and does all their dirty deeds. And he holds a vigil on the steps of the Alberta legislature for 8 or 9 days in November. And it's cold. Like, it got down to minus 20, which I think is equivalent to
Look
like
what
minus
he's
20.
saying. Look what he's saying about the biodiversity, and we just ignored it, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse.
Yes.
Wow.
And so in context, this is
Wow.
2002, where we're at the Alberta legislature. And he's laying it right on the fault of the Alberta government. And he's saying that what these people are doing, they're criminals, they're psychopaths, right? Because they are willfully and purposefully blocking progress on climate action.
Yeah, but
So
now
he's
you
trying.
have Danielle, the worst one. Oh my gosh.
It's gone. Yeah, it's gone from bad to worse for sure. In
I'm
Alberta, he
sorry.
took us rolling over in his watery grave, I'm sure.
Yeah, I do have a question from somebody in the chat,
Oh,
and I want to
that's
put
fun.
it up. Was there any big protest to stop the Alberta tar snads, tar sands?
Yes, there was. Many, maybe not so much in the beginning, like they started up, I don't know, like a long time ago, decades ago. Prior to this action, and prior to me meeting up with Tooker in Toronto during his mayor run, Greenpeace organized an action where we blocked a coker.
Oh,
I don't have that footage for you, and we'll have it up on my channel at some point.
oh
So a
yeah.
coker is this giant. Uh, it's basically like a giant cooking device or
Mm-hmm.
something, and it
Mm-hmm.
had to be shipped up on a special built truck. It took like 6 days to run it up to Fort McMurray, which is
Damn.
like 100 kilometers a day or something, and we blocked it. We found out about this thing. We blocked it in the city, and then we reconned with it at a way station the next day, and we locked down on this thing. So I was locked down to the bottom of the trailer. Tooker was media liaison for Greenpeace. Stephen Guilbeault, Sandy, you'll know the name Stephen Guilbeault
I
because you
know
pay
the
attention
name.
to Canadian issues. He was once climate climate change and environment minister for Canada, and he's famously just resigned his cabinet post
Right.
in the latest Liberal government because they did a deal with the devil,
That's
and
right.
and
I
and he's had
know.
enough.
He's had
So
enough.
so Guilbeault, he was at that action where we locked down on that coker. He was a Greenpeace activist at the time. He's on top of the coker, and it bugs me to this day because every time the media brings up Guilbeault's Greenpeace actions, they never mention the coker action. They mention how he climbed, scaled, or somehow with ropes or whatever went up the
Right.
outside of the CN Tower in downtown Toronto to make a big climate action. But they always forget about the fact that here in Alberta there was another big Greenpeace action to stop the tar sands. It unfortunately didn't stop the tar sands.
No.
They are still an ongoing
Yep.
problem, and they will be for many, many years, especially now
Eh,
that we've got more money for them. So yeah, we can move on. We'll burn through a couple others. Imagine people are getting
Okay, which one? Well, the link will be to your channel because I think it's really important. This is a very important, meaningful project, and I wish it had worked correctly here, but this is super important. I want all of you to go over to Kelly's channel and support, subscribe, and if anybody has any extra money, I know nobody does, but even a buck, $5, to help with this project because this is a historical project and people need to learn because also with these kind of historical projects and looking at this, it makes people feel like, well, maybe we can try again. We can really try. And there's people like Tucker that, that can be replicated. And because I'm saying you're the real deal. You are the real deal, Kelly. Definitely. Okay,
I
where do you
appreciate
want
the
me to go?
sentiment.
Well, you are. I mean, it's incredible. You've did everything, and I mean, I hate to be a doomer or say, well, look where we are now, but look where we are now.
This clip I picked out, I wanted to showcase Angela a little bit, and I wanted to contrast a couple of different things. One
Okay.
was this small action, and another was a larger action around the same thing. So this is spring of 2001. The anti-globalization movement was peaking. We just had a year and a half prior the Battle of Seattle, WTO, 1999. And in Quebec City, we had the Free Trade of the Americas Agreement meeting summit in Quebec City,
Yeah.
April 2001. 80,000 people from across the Americas showed up in Quebec City to protest this. It was massive police presence. Like they came to rumble, and there were so many cops. They unleashed 5,000 canisters of tear gas in
Wow.
downtown Quebec City.
Wow.
And here's Tooker and Angela. They're trying to
Jesus
organize
Christ.
a chemical warfare inquiry into the use of this tear gas, which they rightly said that even in a theater of war, tear gas is a banned weapon. Now, I don't know how many people know that that ICE and various municipal police departments in the United States are using banned warfare weapons on their own citizens. But
Yeah.
it's disgusting, and it's still going
That's
on.
disgusting. And
So
it
I
happens in the
think that I
United States all the time.
Yeah, it's horrible. So Angela, she talks about the tear gas. She talks about getting arrested and beat up by the cops, getting hauled into the police station. People were held for days. All the money was stolen. They're put into cold cells. Nobody was given their jackets. Like it was just a horrible, horrible gong
Oh
show.
my God. I will. Kelly, your name on your YouTube is Kelly Green, isn't it? It
It
says Kelly
is.
Green. Yeah, Kim was asking. I'll have the link in the show notes, Kim. It's Kelly Green.
Thanks, I
G R
appreciate that. And we've
E E
also
N.
got
Oh,
and
everything's in the
I'm
show notes.
on. You can probably hear my phone ringing. Sorry about that, guys.
It's
Um,
okay.
that's my son. He's like, and then he texted me. He's like, you can pick me up whenever. I guess he's been texting me.
Oh,
Um, So that's where I'm going next is to collect him from his friends.
collect
But
them
it's
up.
cold out. It's minus 16. It's been snowing. It's
It
just
was minus
gross.
16 here last night, Celsius. Yeah. I don't think
Sure.
it is tonight, but she's, look
I'm
at
out a
her. Is
little
she still
weather. I made
around?
myself.
Are you still
Angela?
yeah, and you're still with, I mean, you still know her and all, right?
Yes, yes. Angela actually is. She sponsored and fronted the money for the first part of this archive project out of
Yeah.
her own pocket, and she's organized. She's got a website, greenspiration.org. I've got that
Right.
um, linked from my YouTube and different places. So we've got a special page set up for the Tooker Tapes archive project. Angela works for oh boy, and I did work for them. Ontario Coalition, an environmental organization. She's working on energy issues, trying to get the government of Ontario off of natural gas, off of nuclear, and move towards solar and wind and that type of thing. She
Okay.
does excellent work. Um, as an activist and as a professional, she was working
Mm-hmm.
for the city of Toronto at this time, and we're in downtown Toronto here. She's organized the Smog Summit. It's the second or third annual Smog Summit that she's organized. And Tooker shows up, and he has a little rally outside of the Smog Summit, and I thought that this was interesting because it's one of the rare instances where he's sort of showing the cracks. It's like it's starting to weigh on him. This is 2002, I think. And he mentions off the top that, sometimes, the world sort of gets you down, you're working on all these issues and
Sort of.
everybody's against you. Nobody wants to pay attention to any of these things.
Yeah.
And he explains that, sometimes when he gets down, um, he likes to put himself in contact. Oh, thank you. He likes to put himself in contact with people that inspire him. And he says one of the people that inspires him, or that has inspired him, is Julia Butterfly Hill, who happened to be in Toronto. So he invites her to this rally, and then they all end up, Angela Tooker and Julia, they end up going off to the Ohm Festival, which was a real authentic sort of hippie slash rave fun festival out in the bush with, a lot of frivolity and
Right.
drugs and organic food and good music and this sort of thing. So this is Julia Butterfly Hill. Many of you will probably remember her as the woman who spent 2 years atop of a redwood tree in California,
Oh my
bringing attention
God.
to that issue way back in the 1990s. And you can find her online. She's aged, obviously, as we all
Oh,
have.
we all have. Jesus Christ.
But I thought it was
Ugh,
interesting to bring this one up because a lot of folks are showing up in these archives that I wasn't expecting to see. So
really?
Julia Butterfly Hill, David Suzuki, we've got past mayors. I've got at least one former Canadian prime minister that Tooker has run into, different counselors, a lot of different entertainers that are going to be showing up. We got Tooker at a concert with Randy Bachman. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Wow.
so a lot of interesting
What a life
footage.
you had, or have. I'm looking for the website. I'm going to put it up your YouTube, so anybody wants to write it down. Just a
Yeah,
second.
write it down. Follow the links,
Yeah.
and Tucker Gomberg. You just Google that name, and you should find something of
I
interest.
got it. I oh yeah, definitely. No, I'm going to put this up and keep talking, baby. Keep talking
So
away.
it's a it's a happy tale. Like we've got a love story. We got Tucker and Angela and their love for the earth and their love for activism and social justice. But it's also a tragic tale. So I don't know how to tell that story,
Mm.
right? Do we deal with the tragedy right off the start of Tooker losing his life, or does that sort of come in later? Is it a side story? Is it a main part of the story?
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to discolor his legacy, right, by
Mhm.
having that
Mhm.
be the focus, right? Some mental health struggles, the drugs to cure it, which may have pushed him actually literally over the edge.
Oh my
Um,
God.
but it is part of the story, and it's
I'm
it's
so
super. It's
sorry.
it's very it's not easy to go through this stuff because I know how this story ends, right? I'm watching these tapes, and
Right.
it's like
It
it
hurts.
doesn't end well, right? There's a sad
Mhm.
ending here, and
It
eventually
hurts.
I'm going to come across the last of the tapes. I'm
We
just
are
really
all here for you, Kelly.
thank you. I really appreciate that. That's very nice. And if people are, if you do migrate, if you find your way over to the channel and you see any of this stuff, please
Oh,
take a
they
moment.
will.
And I know we all say it. Um, all the YouTubers are like, yeah, drop a comment and a like and whatever. But seriously, like the comments, like what's resonating with this stuff? Like
Mhm. What's
what, what
resonating
what's
is
gonna
its
what?
history. It's amazing history.
Oh,
And
I wish you could.
I really, really hope that you get to where you need to be to make this into a documentary because I think it's amazing.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping also to find this gentleman. His name is Oscar, I think, and he's from Bogota, Colombia.
Oh, the guy
And
on the TV?
Tucker runs into him, and Bogota was real early on in the game of being one of the first cities to do a lot of stuff to get rid of cars. Like let's have more bikes and less cars. So they did a lot of work towards that, and it'll be really exciting to eventually tell the story because some of us are in partnered activist relationships. Yes.
She lives in Canada. Kate.
Oh, cool.
Yep. There's a few
Hi.
Canadians here. Lightning Rod is here, and he
Hello, fellow
knows who
Canuck.
he
Well,
know. Oh
you guys
yeah,
should. I want to. I want to show you this. Like, this is kind of cool. If anyone ever needs like a tensor bandage, I use it for like a little bit of carpal tunnel. But I've just taken an old sock and I cut off the toe,
okay.
and I use the heel where my thumb goes through, and it's
Oh,
got the
look at
elastics in
that.
the sock already, and it
Oh
just
my
hugs my
gosh,
hand nice,
it
and it
feels
gives me
good.
a little bit of
Wow,
therapy.
that's probably good for just using a mouse.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
you're
That's
because you're working. So who is this guy? This one
This is
here?
Hamish Wilson. This was a friend of theirs in Toronto, real super smart guy,
Yeah.
and he was on to transportation issues and cycling and stuff. So he came over to Tooker's apartment. Tooker's live on the net, TOTV. At the start of this video is hilarious, where he comes up with a slogan. He's like, "The whole world is watching." And he's like, "Wow, yeah, that's our slogan. The whole world is watching," and he's all super excited about that. And then he's getting ready for a live show. He's connecting later on this day with Tony Hall from the University of Lethbridge, who launched the world's first interactive open internet university course.
Oh
It's
wow.
called Globalization Studies out of
Really?
Lethbridge. So
No
Tucker
kidding.
connects with him, and he's able to
No
connect with him
kidding.
live. So he does some live connections from his apartment. But the
Yeah.
first time he connects with him, and I don't have that clip for you yet, I haven't unearthed it, but Tucker goes live on the internet, a live stream, remote, using Wi-Fi at Starbucks in New York
Okay.
somewhere, New York City.
Look at
And
Lightning
so
Rod
I've seen
thinks he met you, by the way. He met
a
before
monster of the nightlife.
in
I don't know about being a
Toronto.
monster.
Were you out in Toronto ever? Did you used to go out in Toronto? He feels like he knows you. He's pretty damn cool too, our Lightning Rod.
I mean, it's possible. I was kind of I wasn't really into the nightlife thing, but interesting that we're doing this. We're showing movies because for a good couple of years in Toronto, every Tuesday night I would have a movie night, a video screening night in the basement of a pub in my neighborhood, Kelt's Pub,
Oh,
and we would show activist videos. So
no shit.
like a dozen or 30 people would show up, and this is before before I could even get a projector. So I just had a big television
Yeah.
that I was I was able to get going in this bar and show videos all the time. So that was fun.
Well,
Toronto was fun.
I'm going to
Working with
get us
Tucker
back
was an
to.
absolute gas.
That's awesome. I'm going to get us back to the two of us, and uh, we can take a see if. Oh, shit. Why is this happening? Hang on a second. I don't. Can you guys hear us? You can hear us, but for some reason, the overlay is not working right because everything got shitty.
Well,
So here we can be big like this. We don't have to be
there.
all
Well, hey, there
we
we
don't
go.
have to be all perfect and all. It doesn't have to be perfect with all the graphics and overlays. All right, so let's see. Well, not only was I a wild child, I was very politically active. Oh, well, I bet you were because you're pretty smart, Lightning Rod.
Well,
Yeah.
let's connect in the chats then, Rod, and we'll see if we
Yeah,
actually
you
do know each
should.
other.
You should definitely. He loved the protests in Toronto. If only to sell weefed, weefed. Okay. Aw, I think this has been great. Do you guys have any kind of questions? And I want to thank Chaz. Thank you for the super chat.
I have a
And
question for Rod. If he may have been at the skate in / smoke in at City Hall, it's January. I think it's 2002, maybe 2003, and there was something that had just happened with regards to a positive development, the legalization of maybe medical marijuana in Canada. So some activists showed up, and they were smoking up at City Hall, Nathan Phillips Square. And it was all very, very funny.
oh, let's see what happened. Oh, I see what happened. Look at that. We can
Hey,
go boop,
oh,
boop, boop, boop. I kind of like this. No bells and whistles. Okay, listen, what I want to do here is we have to do the environmental coffee house flush of the day. I know what I want to flush. And let me get the sounds. We are going to flush my fucking software tonight. How's that? Does that sound like a flush? What do you think, guys? Let me turn off this goddamn sad music and see if this will work this way. All right, let's flush. Oh, I can't turn off that music. Where is it? I don't even know where the music is. Hang on. All right. All right. So we did the flush of the day, and I got to find where the music is. It's not been my night, I guess. So Kelly, what do you want to say to wrap up all this and tell everybody what what you're interested in and what you want to do?
I
Well, I
am.
try to turn off this goddamn music.
I'm. s- I'm
Oh
super
shit.
grateful, Sandy, to be on your show. Um,
I'm
I'm.
super
I'm.
grateful to
I'm
have
just
you.
like super happy to interact with folks in this manner. I love this show because Sandy brings on some amazing guests. Like she's really got a good eye for bringing in people
You
that know their
think?
stuff, like on
Really?
environmental stuff. So
Okay.
everyone, a big round of applause to Sandy. Thank and
It's very stressful. It can be very stressful. Okay, I
no
can
doubt.
now do the proper flush, I think, if I find the sound effects. Okay, we are flushing tonight. Ecamm Live for not having my system audio. Goodbye. I am so pissed. But I might
Excellent.
take this show and try to edit it a little bit and make it a video. So we'll make it a video with, and then all the beginning crap can be
I,
taken
I don't know. I don't
away.
know if I'd. You've already done so much work on this. I don't know if I'd do it again, but
Aw,
or like put any more work into this particular show. But who knows down the road? Like this project's going to be going on for a long time.
yeah.
If it ever becomes a documentary or a documentary series, then maybe you have me on again,
Flush the
and we're
FIFA
talking about
piece.
that.
I'm not.
Wouldn't it be cool to go on
Yeah.
tour with this documentary and
Oh,
make it out
wow.
east, maybe down to New York?
I
Tucker's
hope
got
you do.
family in Chicago. His brother's living out there. Be
What?
exciting. And I apologize to everybody. I've been just kind of looking at my phone a little bit. My son is like, "Hey, you can come and pick me up now." I
Okay.
didn't hear his text, but I did hear the call, so I just had to tell him I'll be there soon.
All right. Karen wants to know what I think of the climate movement today in light of historical overview. Well, I think there's a lot of dedicated people. I don't think it's stopped. I think it's a little different. I think we are definitely in a lot bigger trouble than we were. I kind of think, people have said we are so fucked, but you never give up. There's always something local to do. We may not be able to change the bigger picture. I mean, I was at the climate march in DC in 2018. I've done a lot of these things. I started out as a pro choice activist. I was with NARAL. I've done so much of this shit. I went to Iraq 1, Iraq 2 protests in Washington, DC, a lot of things. Not like you, Kelly, but I did. And I think that you never stop. And if you are living somewhere that you can go to a local town meeting or anything you can do and listen, especially like with data centers, don't let them in. Do what you can. That's what I think. I don't know how the big climate movements are. I know that they, when you look at COP and how it was taken over by the fossil fuel industry, that's not very nice, is it? That doesn't feel good, does it, Kelly?
No, it doesn't. And even back in 2000, when we were at COP6, like we realized it was all very corrupted. A lot of lobbyists there were running into coal lobbyists and nuke lobbyists and oil and gas and everything. It was very
Still.
weighted heavy against us. And in
And
fact, interestingly, the reason why Tucker decided to take action and burn his passport in The Hague in November of 2000 at the COP6 climate conference, they were still trying, 3 years later, they were still trying to figure out how are we going to get this Kyoto protocol ratified. They're still sort of negotiating the ins and outs on that, and it wasn't happening.
wow.
And the NGOs, like the Greenpeace's, World Wildlife Fund, all these big organizations, they were basically proving to be useless. They weren't doing anything, and they weren't stepping up to the moment and really making some noise. So the talks were failing. It's Friday, nothing was happening. There's nothing planned.
Right?
And Tucker had this idea to burn a globe. So he's stuck in the conference center because he ran into security a few days earlier, and they snatched his credentials right off his neck, so he couldn't leave. He wouldn't be able to get back in. We're
Holy
squatting
shit.
inside the conference center. We're sleeping wild inside an empty trailer that they brought in for for all the media. And he sends me to the city to buy a globe. I show up several hours later with a globe. I got a liter of fuel to go with it. He had a little
No
metal
shit.
tray. And then we
God.
discovered, we pull out, we unpack the globe. He's like, "Oh, it's a plastic globe. I can't." We thought it'd be cardboard, like the old cardboard globes we all had in
Yeah.
our living room, right?
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I can't burn a plastic globe. What am I going to do?" So he's
Wow.
thinking, humming and hawing, and he goes outside, has a little puff on the last bit of hash that we had, comes back in. He's like, "I got it. I'm going to burn my passport, and it'd be really cool if somebody joined me." Nudge, nudge.
Oh
I'm
my
like, "Yeah,
God.
sure. I'm
These
down for
days,
that."
no, I won't burn my passport. I don't. Well, I have to get a new one because
So it was a super
they're like
spontaneous
so cute.
event, and one day you'll get that video's out there already of the passport burn. You can find it someplace on my channel.
Dig
One
your
day,
tie.
oh, thank you,
Well,
appreciate that.
yeah, everybody is going to go to your channel because they're all now everybody wants to see some of this stuff and maybe hear it, which is great. But I really enjoyed this, and I'm not going to bitch anymore about the sound. Everybody seems to have enjoyed that. Your narration was great. You've lived it. What an activist. You've lived an incredible life. And I'm just happy to know you and happy to be able to share this and hope that it really does, it's successful.
Likewise, Sandy. Thank you very much for the opportunity to come and speak with your channel and all your wonderful folks. And it's cool to
I
be able
have
to interact with you
I
all.
got one question about, do you know Corey Morningstar? You remember Corey Morningstar? She was a journalist. Boy, she really skewered the big greens. Corey Morningstar. Ever get a chance to look up Corey Morningstar? She did expose on the big greens, and it was really mind numbing, eye opening shit. And she was a hard worker. I don't know why she's not doing a whole lot but anymore, but she was something in the day. We
Got it written
have
down.
and we have a really cute ending video. You want to tell who this woman is?
This is Honey Novak. She is an award-winning singer, poet, composer, and she became friends with Angela and Tooker. And this is the day that Angela is departing for India on a 6-month trip. So we're in October of 2002, and unlike normal people, Tooker and Angela decided to throw a party, a going away party, but not a normal party, a street party, and not a normal street party, like a party actually in the street. So they reclaimed the
Yeah.
street, and part of the thing that they were going to do for this reclaim the street party was he was inviting people to bring their pickaxes and shovels, and they were going to actually try and start depaving that street to
Wow.
uncover Garrison Creek that was underneath. That didn't go off. Cops showed up. They're like, "You guys can't be in the street." He's like, "Well, why can't we be in? We're not doing anything wrong." He's talking to the cops, and then the cops like he said, "Well, what if we had our bicycles?" He's like, "Yeah, bicycles are fine in the street." So Tucker's like, "Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna all everybody bring their bicycles into the street, and and the cops like, no, wait, no, you guys you can't do this, right?" And Tucker's talking to him, and he eventually negotiates with this cop to stay occupying this street for another 45 minutes so
Wow.
they can have their lunch and have some music and Tucker, they shake hands on it and everything. It was an
He
amazing
sounds like a
amazing event. And
wonderful
then they had some
man.
performers. So Wayne, there's a guy in this video with Honey Novak. He's playing this weird sort of keyboard guitar unit thing. He's since passed. Honey's still with us, and the other guy on guitar, Marty, he's still with us, and he shows up in some other videos. But Honey Novak, she sings this beautiful song that she wrote called what's it called, Sandy? You got it there?
I've
Um,
got it
oh,
up. We're gonna play it. It's just like Earth Mother, like
oh, Mother Earth or something.
Mother. Yeah, we're gonna play it on the end. I had to cut it. Oh my
You can
God,
see the full
I heard
thing
my
in
cats.
my
Yeah.
on my channel, and
Yep.
thanks, guys. It's been a real pleasure.
I have one
Um,
question, real,
oh,
a
yeah, yeah.
real doom question, which and she has every right to ask this because the big picture ain't pretty. Is there a sense of defeat now that the millionaires have killed us all, even in the face of climate activism's efforts? You all know how I feel.
100%.
Even though I advocate for local action because we all have to live somewhere. And, I was on a show yesterday with Catherine Flowers on Nicole's show, Nicole Sandler's show. And Catherine Flowers is a very famous activist who is working to get people to have actual fucking sewage properly in Alabama, where they have septics that fail and the sewage spills out into their yards. And we are such a discriminatory country. I'm going to download that and ask Nicole, and I'm going to put it on this channel so you can see Catherine Flowers, because she's an amazing activist, local activist. Because what do you think? What do you think of the big picture, Cal? Are we fucked?
Oh, 100%.
David Suzuki says it. Even though Kate's mad at him because she said I don't know where that, I had one more. She said way back in the day. Where is it? Oh, yeah. She said this. Way back in the day, David Suzuki refused to endorse our efforts, refused to endorse our efforts to stop logging in Stanley Park.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of a fucking slap in the face. Sorry for the cursing.
And that's in his neighborhood.
Yeah, that was yeah. Why would he do that? All right. Well, anyway, millionaires are milliardaires, billionaires.
All
right.
I gotta
He's
go.
got to go. All right, we're going to play a song. Goodbye, everybody. I love you. I love you. Mwah.
Peace out.
I'm kissing you. Mwah. All of you. Kelly, I'm kissing you and hugging you. Mwah. You're great. I love you. Wonderful. Let's hope. I got the music. Mother Earth. Here we go.
Nice.
Here we go.
Oh, Mother Earth, we are your children. Trees and people and fields and streams. Oh, Mother Earth, we are your children. We want to thank
Yeah, playing Kate and Barry. Thank you, dude.
for letting me do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne and Marty.
Okay, thank you.
We're TOTV Live. The whole world is watching and listening, almost. Bye-bye.
Bye.